It was 5 days before the Passover feast. This was a time for God's people, the Israelites, to remember how God saved them from slavery in Egypt. This was a big deal. But Jesus was about to make the way for us all to be saved from an even worse kind of slavery, the slavery to sin. Sin is the wrong things people do. Jesus came to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover, and when he did, a crowd of people carrying palm branches welcomed him as their king, their Messiah. They shouted, "Hosanna," which means, "Save us, please." Jesus was going to save them, all right, but not in the way they thought he would. Not everyone cheered for Jesus, though. The chief priests and Pharisees were religious leaders, and they wanted to stop Jesus. Jesus told the crowds, "Now it is time for the world to be judged. Now the prince of this world will be thrown out." Jesus was saying that he was going to defeat the devil and make the world new again. He would die on the cross and make the way for everyone to be a part of God's new world. But the crowds didn't understand. How could the Messiah die? As the time for the Passover feast grew nearer, Jesus shared an evening meal with his disciples, whom he loved very much. He knew he would be leaving them soon, so he began to wash their dusty feet. This was usually the job of a servant. Jesus was their teacher, not their servant, so Peter spoke up. "You will never wash my feet." But Jesus said, "Unless I wash you, you can't share life with me." Jesus was washing their feet as a picture of how he cleaned sin out of our hearts. Sin makes us slaves, and like dirt, sin clings to us. King Jesus does the work of a servant to clean us. He died for us, saving us from the wrong things we do. Peter, like all of us, needed Jesus to clean his sins so he could live as part of God's kingdom. When the meal was over, another disciple, Judas, betrayed Jesus, who was later arrested and taken to the Roman governor Pilate. Pilate's soldiers mistreated Jesus. They beat him and made fun of him. Jewish people, including religious leaders, gathered outside Pilate's palace. They said Jesus lied about being God's son. They wanted Pilate to crucify Jesus, to kill Jesus by nailing him to a cross. Pilate spoke to the people, "Should I crucify your king?" But the chief priests told Pilate that the Roman emperor was their only king, not Jesus. So Jesus was led outside the city and nailed to a cross. There, he suffered and died. It was terrible, but the people who wanted Jesus to die were about to see how wrong they were. A few days later, Jesus would show that death could not defeat him. He had made a way from slavery to freedom, from death to life. Because Jesus loves us and gave his life for us,